I estimate you will be bent double by New Year's Eve if you spend one more night in that damn chair.
Good. I can pick up pennies off the road.
Ta, you're out of the orphanage now. You marry good money. Hell, I rented this grand bed and all these sheets.
Exactly. You rent it for us, Neil. When you're here, I join you. I promised you that in the only marriage I hope to have. When you vanish, I'd rather sleep cold on the floor.
I think I slept several hours on the ground since I saw you last.
No fault to mine.
Never claimed it was, but I'm begging your pardon.
Could you eat a fresh egg if I soft-boil it for you?
You never said you pardoned me.
I don't yet, Neil.
Then I could not swallow, no. No, ma'am. Not today.
You're gonna need your strength for tomorrow.
No, ma'am. Not for sleep.
You can't sleep here, Neil. Please, don't sleep here. Just listen, please.
Make it peaceful, Ta.
I can't. Not now. Neil, this room is yours if you plan to claim it. But just give me today to think through all our mess in some kind of calm. You do the same. Neil, I've thought. I know what I can do. I can stay here till time for supper this evening. You go off and you think about our year together and the time to come. And if you decide I'm the one you need to spend long years with, you come back by dark and I'll start cooking ham and boiling rice.
So let me get this plan. You want me to think about what you want, the thing you want me to turn into.
I want you to be a good person, that's all.
But you're a good person. A housebroke dog.
Housebroke. If that means coming home at sundown to eat and rest, not 12 hours late and a good supper ruined, not filthy and sick, your wife not knowing if you're dead, you need to be drunk 2 or 3 nights a week, you need to break every promise you made to stand by me.
Forsaken all others. Didn't I say that?
To God and every old lady in town. A whole year ago, in that Presbyterian church. I promised you, Neil, and you promised me.
I was drunk then too.
That's no excuse.
I couldn't hear the vowels Porter cried so loudly.
You've nearly got a point. Porter should have been shot.
Nothing wrong with a man's best friend shedding tears when the man takes a wife.
You sure you took me?
Felt like you. You claimed you liked it.
I liked you in it when you were there and sober. I wouldn't give 2 cents to do with any other man alive.
How much you give me to do it right now? I'm here and ready.
I've paid you. Every dollar you cost, I have given you my whole life to spend.
And at a pretty good price. On your little terms.
If loyal attention is little, then all right. And keeping your mind clear enough to guide you home in the dark, then sure, I'm one of the littlest dwarves. No, you leave like I asked you. If you show up here for supper on your own 2 feet and nobody with you, I'll know you want us to keep on together. If not, I will pack and be gone by dark.
Where to?
There's more than one place around here for good young people who always know their name and are sober round their clock.
You die.
I die being true to what I know. Just leave, please. It'll all be yours by dark one way or another.
Should I say goodbye?
No, not yet. Neil, I can't think like you. In a room full of people all joking and mean. Just give me today to think my way clear. You do the same. And tonight we can cancel goodbye if we're ready.
Stop drinking. Stop seeing my oldest friend and just be yours. That's all I gotta decide before supper.
More or less. It's time.
Swear to God, I thought we was doing all right. I'm happy.
I'm not. And you've known it for long months. If not, you are blinder than I ever imagined. Neil, I never meant this. I never planned this.
You can't plan life.
You can. I've done it, and it was not this.
All right. Goodbye.
We've got till supper.
Goodbye.
Since I was an orphan, so early in life, I've learned to avoid most dreams. Dreams at night, good or bad, they seemed the one strain I could spare myself. And I honestly think in all these years, I've never had 24 dreams. Not to speak of, at least. Neil dreams like a dog by the stove when he's here. The rare nights I get to guard his sleep. Last night, though, when I finally dozed, sad as I was, I lived through a dream, real as day. I'd finally gotten my teacher's diploma, and I was ready to save the world around me, all children. And what thrilled me was that they were still young and not too hard to help yet. I could show them the main thing an orphan knows, how to tuck your jaw and brave hails of pain and come out strong as a good dray horse or rock-ribbed house on a cliff by the water. But when I entered my classroom on that first day and I trimmed my pencils and faced the desks, I saw that they'd given me 20 grown men, all with straight sets of teeth. I prayed I was wrong, that I'd gotten the wrong room. But still, I said my name, and the oldest man at the back of the room stood tall at last, in a black serge suit. He said, "Don't wait another minute to start. We've all paid our way." I felt a quick chill of fright go through me that I'd fail. But then I thought of the week that they died, my mother and father, of the Spanish flu. And I knew I did have a big truth to tell, the main one there is to know. So I opened my mouth and I taught those grown men every last thing an orphan needs and learns from the day that she's left. Courage and trust and a craving for time. And they listened too. But hard as I looked in all those rows, I never saw Neil.
You're taking kitchen privileges, I see.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I didn't see any point in calling you.
And no point either in not telling me you're going to spend last night in your room. I barely shut an eye.
By the time I knew where I'd be, it was too late to call.
Porter, cast your mind back. I rented you Neil's room so I wouldn't lie here helpless at night to any passing felon.
Let me fix you some of my feather-light eggs.
Just coffee, please.
Mrs. Avery, I bet a day's pay you a truly that only I open in town after midnight.
Half the world's rapes are over by midnight.
I won't doubt your word. I know how hard you've researched the subject.
Porter, recall I am much your elder and a recent widow. Show some respect. So, where was your sleepyhead? And my sons, may I ask?
You asked us to check on your dogs, remember?
The hounds of the dear departed, not mine.
He'd be pleased to see how well they've done.
He'd be mad as hell. Brett Avery swore we'd all roll around, dogs included, prostrate with grief ever after he died.
Well, the hounds are grand. Not one tearful eye. Of course, old Turner doesn't hunt them enough. They're plump as ladies and doze all day. They've hatched a few puppies. You own 16 fine fox dogs today.
Then you and Neil better hunt them to the bone this fall, or I plan to give one each, in person, to the first 16 honest children I meet in the road.
And how do you know the honest ones?
Easy. I'll ask them to describe my looks in 5 words. any of them not saying ugly as a scalded rabbit gets no hound dog.
Mrs. Avery, you forget we married Neil off. Now we have to help him put away childish things.
And sit down. In one rented room, no private bath, while Miss Tall Sefton preaches her sermons on true love and virtue.
Nah, she's Mrs. Neil Avery now, for some reason.
Ask her. Ask Tall. She'll tell you all day, into the night. Neil could no more tell you than that salt could.
Well, he wants her right now.
Then stand back. It's love.
Ma'am?
You just described love. Hot need. Right now.
Well, anybody's love could end any day then.
I suppose that's a fact about love they don't advertise.
I doubt I believe you.
Then don't grow up.
Mama Rome, your wandering boy is hungry.
He's not mine now.
You're dead wrong. I'm not a bit hungry, but mother, I'm yours.
Try the Salvation Army.
Sit here, you're pale. I'll save some eggs.
That's my chair.
It was father's, now mine.
And both of you quit it. Thank you, son.
I may reclaim it.
It would have to be earned.
So, fix things at home?
Paul's all right.
I haven't heard the rest of where you laid those two clever heads last night. Not at Taw's, I take it.
Mother, you'll live long years not knowing.
My people live far in their 90s. I was wife to a half-mute skinflint, I'm mother to a souse, and I'm the heir of a men's clothing store that's shown a profit for the first year in 10. So sure, hit me hard. I doubt I'll break.
How much have you told her?
Just the dogs.
Old Turner, you can guess, has a lot of time on his hands. His wife and mother-in-law tend to the farm and while his girl takes care of the dogs. So when we got there, he had just finished making a dugout canoe. Burnt from a cypress log and as lovely as somebody's neat strong leg. You know, I wanted one all my life, so I offered him $5 for it on the spot. He moaned and bragged for half an hour and then took $8 and my old nail clippers for something even you would love.
Then where is it?
Porter, where is it?
In thick honeysuckle, near where you slept. I hid it at dawn.
We took it down to the river to test.
In night, black as Egypt.
Porter, was it dark? Yes, ma'am, must have been. Way past supper time. We drove it down to the sandbar and slid the boat in. Funny, I remember all as daylight, good strong pictures. Then we drifted down with the current for what, Porter? About 2 miles past that rock your father used to skin otters on.
My great-grandfather. No otter around here in 80-odd years.
Porter, were you singing every inch of the way?
No, sir, I was too busy praying not to drown.
Not 1 minute's danger. I can balance on a spider web, much less the Brown River. And a little past that rock is the notch in the bank with the cripple tree in it. I landed us there as safe as Captain Cook.
Captain Cook was slaughtered in the Sandwich Islands by tattooed natives.
I imitated his better days. And then we slept, right, Porter?
You did, after telling me more than I planned about your honeymoon and other old jokes. I was mainly awake, keeping guard against wolves.
Hasn't been a wolf around here since Columbus.
Since I was a girl.
Well, we're all safe now. Send silver donations in lieu of thanks to Porter Farwell.
You'll hear from my lawyer. And son, I believe you left out the corn.
Beg your pardon?
The corn liquor? I figured you bought yourself some liquor from Turner and floated the boat and yourselves on it.
Goes without saying.
It killed my father.
Your father was shot at the wrong back door.
Drunk as a goat in love at the time.
Order! Eat your breakfast. This is family business. If Miss Toss Sefton drives you to drink, seize the wheel back. You come from far too long a line of salts.
Mother, notice I'm bound to the former tall Sefton.
Gold will melt in a fire.
So, time for work. I mean to wash my mouth out with soap. You both do the same. Neil, meet you on the porch in 3 minutes here.
Son, when you get to the store, call me. We need to talk about winter hats.
This is gonna be a long day.
Eat lunch with me?
I better not, thank you.
Taw coming to see you?
Not today. Got a lot on my mind.
Be good to your mind. It started life smart.
All right, I won't fight you on that.
No, don't.
Jen, you're up early. It's barely noon.
If I slept 15 minutes all night, I sure don't recall.
I do. You did. See those hairline cracks in the plaster there? You snore in earnest.
No such thing. I prayed the whole time. Got any vanilla pudding left?
I ate the last spoonful at 4 a.m.
You don't plan to ask what kept me awake?
Jen, the whole population south of Boston knows who worries you.
No such thing. I hide my wounds. Who woke you at 4?
Nobody. Nobody.
Neil never showed up?
You asking a telling. Either case, you're wrong. He showed his drunk face just after dawn.
It's a great deal more than Wayne Watkins shown.
Wayne is not your husband.
He wants to be.
Then who, please, is stopping him?
Don't be mean, Tall. It spoils your skin.
Grab yourself the rest of the pie and sit.
Where's he been now, and what's the story?
Under the stars with you-know-who, I guess. I didn't ask. I don't trust myself not to break any minute.
Yours likely to break as the pyramids in Giza. When you hold Neil Avery to the line is when you'll know.
Know what?
How much of a life you'll have from here on.
A damn sight better life than I've had this year. You and Wayne upstairs shredding the rafters, while I sit here praying that Porter Farwell will return my spouse to these empty arms with no parts missing as daylight broke.
I apologize to Wayne and me.
That is not the point. You don't bother me.
The hell it's not. The whole point is how to live as close to human beings, not get killed, not kill one of them. I didn't plan on saying this, but I've lived some, believe me, and with more than just Wayne. All the point is what you missed all along.
And you see it plainly.
Yes, ma'am, I do. To my own heartbreak.
Wait, let me guess. 2 good short mottos, suitable for stitching. Living alone is worse than being dead. And bear any greater hell your mate needs to hand you.
You can laugh now. Pray you never know firsthand what I know.
Jen, you're what? A whole year older than me? Don't go try sounding all wise yet. And alone. If I was called to court, I'd have to swear that Wayne Watkins spends more time here than daylight.
Be ashamed. You're wasting too much time as a spy.
Then get me another job. Neil won't let me teach.
You could stop asking where you've gone wrong to cause a good boy that I know is kind of true to blow up the whole world just to prove he's sad. Now, I'm your friend till the devil reclaims me. But I've got to say this. Neil used to be happy. People welcomed his face.
I'd welcome him today. Jen, I am proud to claim that I'm the cause of all this mess Neil makes. He's finally run up against one human being who asks him to give her the best he's got and won't take nothing less.
You're proud of that.
A little, yes. Jen, Neil wanted it. He knew me a whole 2 years before he chose me. He knew I couldn't stand to live a life like this.
And you knew him. Knew he was wild in a harmless kind of way, taking jaunts for days on end to see some sight in the mountain or a baseball game on Donkey's back. More than one person thought Neil killed his daddy with undue worry, but I never did. His daddy had Roma Avery on his back, and well, she's just known to be as healthy as a sack of rabbit bait. Everyone knew God above attended Neil. Neil's driven off into sheer ravines more times than I've made first-class fudge.
Not with me, he hasn't.
Pity on you. You missed a good time. Did I ever tell you about the time we had the lightning calculator drive us home?
Us?
Wayne and I, we were in on some of Neil's greatest adventures. Miss Boyd, our algebra teacher, read a long piece from the paper talking about a lame boy up in Windy near the mountains. He could watch a whole freight train pass, add up the serial numbers from each car, and give you the total at the side of the caboose. He was 10 years old and already called the lightning calculator up that way. Well, I listened and promptly forgot the story. The Saturday night of the same week, we were all at a dance. The boys had already, so to speak, blurred the vision, and I was thinking I just might walk home again. My bosoms had finally blossomed, and I wasn't going to risk harming them. That's when Neil stepped up. I'm headed to Windy, North Carolina. I'm going to spend Sunday with the lightning calculator. Before I could scuttle or strike out for home, Wayne said, I am me and Genevieve Slappy. He likes to use my god-awful name no matter how mad it makes me. Before I could breathe, much less say no, we were on the damn highway. All I could do was pray, and the prayers worked.
Was the boy even awake?
Awake, fully dressed, and sitting on the porch at daybreak. Neil walked right up to him and said, when's the next freight train due? Without one word of who are you or go to hell, the boy said no. His real name was Jarvis, Sylvester Jarvis. His mother appeared at the screen door and said, Vesta, who's all this so early? Before you know it, we were eating fried apples and drinking coffee strong enough to ream a radiator.
Was Neil sober by then?
For an hour or two. That's the end of that story.
I may not last.
Dude, it's the happiest part. Turned out Vesta was 11, not 10. But the lame part was true. His leg was bowed like the big letter C, and he rolled when he walked. Well, just before 7, he rolled us all out back to the porch. Here comes the freight train, fast on the downgrade. My eyes could barely keep up, but Vesta's lips were working top clip. As the last car went by, he stood up and said, 14,220,076. Wayne and I were speechless with wonder, but Neil just stayed at his bad knee and said, son, who in the world could check you? Vesta gazed off towards the mountain. Even the newspaper hadn't caught on. There's nobody checked fast enough to check the child's total. Could have been estimating or lying.
Did Vesta fight back?
Not a word. Think he was somehow relieved to be caught. The lightning calculator was dead and he could just go on and be a child. Of course, he shed a few tears when Wayne said, Lightning, I still believe you. Turned around and his cheeks were wet. So out of the wild blue, Neil said, Ace, I bet you can drive. Vesta thought a moment, said, yeah, I like that name. Of course, Neil called him Ace the whole way home.
Oh, he didn't come with you?
Sugar Ace drove us every mile of the way. We were all asleep, trusting his babes.
Did his mother know?
Neil made $3 on the deal. Neil gave her that much as we drove off. Of course, he sent the boy home on the evening train with a brand new hacksaw over his shoulder, which all he wanted as a way of a present.
I suppose he's gone on to rob trains and banks?
That's not my point, Tom, sad to say.
Write it out and mail it to me then.
Neil's a funny, kind soul.
Why did you pass him up?
I've loved a lot of people, but if only wanted Wayne. Of course, I never got a chance at Neil.
May have been the best luck you'll ever have.
You take that back right now while you can.
Talk!
a hairbrush at least.
I stopped by home.
Where's that?
My mother's.
Then what's this room?
This is a room we rent from my good friend Genevieve Slapping to start our lives.
And Genevieve's leaving. Enjoy your lunch.
You having a sale?
No.
Inventory?
I told you I might have to pack. So sure, inventory. All of it's mine.
Then pack for me too.
Is that your answer?
It just may be.
No maybes now, Neil.
Then no, I haven't answered.
If I pack for us both, we'll be gone by dark. Go someplace and just breathe.
I ain't short of air.
Neil, we're strangling.
Who's twisting your rope?
Our rope, and you know well as me.
Porter?
He's half.
I can't stop knowing my oldest best friend.
That's part of what marriage is for, Neil. You bury your dead and make a clean start. You love too many people.
That's easy enough for an orphan to say.
Shame, and you know it. I'd walk through streaming lava for my Aunt Jess.
Is that where we're going? Hawaii? Fresh lava?
Don't talk that trash. You know what I meant. But you come first, a long way first.
And you for me. From the moment I saw you.
Oh yeah, that day at the horseshoe match when you won?
I saw you maybe 2 months before that.
Never told me.
A lot I never told you. Maybe never will. But I as sure as God saw you. Naked as a peeled pear drying your arms. Among other parts.
Don't tell that lie.
I climbed up a tree to see you. Nearly broke my neck.
Must have been the day Miss Ella washed the curtains. She told me not to bathe. I hope you were alone.
Creeping home alone. Saw the top of Miss Tall Sefton's head and took the dare.
Can't have been worth it.
I know someday. Till then, I've just got a picture in my mind. You upright in a foggy bathroom with no extra arms to keep and hold you. I thought I'd volunteer.
You waited long months.
You weren't on the run.
Some other peeping Tom could have beat you to me.
I figured I'd win.
Think you did?
Till this morning, yes.
And now you've lost?
I may have, yes.
I hope not.
I believe you.
You want me to wait?
You decided everything else here today.
Getting late. Started without you. Any changes to report?
Let's leave that alone. My brain is fried. I guess I just ought to bunk at Mother's until talk calms down. But with you up there...
Neil, understand this. I am not determined to live at your mother. She and I are not some secret team out to drive you off.
I didn't think so.
But if you're hunting space, it is a big house. I'll move out of your room the instant you want it. Why, with 10 minutes notice, we can move me downstairs.
The sewing room?
I'm a pretty fair seamster.
The models of Mother's bust through the years wouldn't rile your sleep?
It'll take more than any lady's bosom to wake me tired as I am today.
Don't worry about it. Tonight, anyways. If I do sleep at Mother's, I'll just flop on the sofa until my plans congeal. Anything worth eating?
Let's see, they got chicken dumplings, green peas, and biscuits. They've also got fish. You need to eat.
I'm hungry. Hell, I don't know anything I want.
I know what I want. Every day from now on.
Is it something I should hear?
I figured you knew. Known all your life. Some version of last night. The Dugout, river, deep night. You asleep?
You awake? On guard?
Something like that. Crazy and practical as snowshoes in August in Mexico.
I think they have mountains in Mexico where snow never melts.
Well, I hope they do. This is Carolina. People here go barefoot 8 months of the year.
And stand stock still all their lives. Unless there's a war.
Well, after 1918, a world war's out, and the South won't rise.
You never know that. You read it somewhere. There's thousands of miles we haven't discovered. You and I have traveled the farthest of anyone around, and where have we been? North of Richard, east of Nag's Head, as far east as Windy, no farther south than Charleston.
I'm no big explorer.
But you're miserable here.
Nah, not me.
Could have fooled me. I thought that was liquor you poured down your gullet. You drink more than I do.
I drink with you, Neil. You begged me to.
Well, that is a pitiful reason.
Well, it's mine, and I like it.
Shame on you, then.
All right.
No wonder we're stuck. We're just too damn lazy to run.
You forgot your feet.
Sir?
Your 2 flat feet. Armageddon could come. You'd never get drafted. Not with those feet.
Forget my feet. I have 4 horses, and the car's been invented. Why don't you and I take a trip down to Mexico? We never seen it. Hell, a Model A can drive as fast as Spanish as in English.
Faster? When we get there, what? We can't work in Spanish.
You're rich. You're the one with the big nest egg.
Yeah, big enough to see us as far as Social Circle, Georgia, and buy us 1 fried oyster dinner apiece.
I may want that.
Now on out, till hell comes a calling.
I'm too tired to decide. Right now, anyways.
Well, now's what you got. The chief's tall, at least. Me and Mexico were down on the river, might wait a while longer.
For me, all my life,
I've answered that, Neil. I'll stay as you know me.
every livelong day.
Late here, boy. May lose my job.
I'll speak to the boss. The trouble, my whole life has been this. People fall for me, for what they think is me. They mostly call it love, and it seems to give them the fits. They think life can't go on without me. When I know life can go on in the dark if they blindfold you, push you down to a torso, stack you on the cold, wet, black floor, and leave you as loathsome as the last good soul. Neil Avery can't save the shrubbery from pain, much less human beings. Maybe that's why I'm so hard on Tall, and Mother, and Porter, my friend. Maybe that's why I'm soaked to the ears so much of the time. I know I'm me. Your average white boy with all his teeth. No Woodrow Wilson or Baby Jesus or Dr. Pasture carrying rabies with shots. Who on God's round earth do you think I am? Who would cure their pain and heal their suffering? If I stand here for many years more, wouldn't they wear me away like the Sphinx or a door seal, just with the look of their famished eyes? If I wasn't a Methodist, if this wasn't my home, wouldn't I be well advised to run for the nearest cave and live amongst the wolves, doves, or crows? Would they elect me gamekeeper? Am I ruined past help? Can I take 10 steps from here to there, run for my life, for my good or theirs?
I know it's your nap time. Wrong, Mrs. Avery. I seldom bat an eye. Just pause once a day to think great thoughts. You look like you're collecting for a desperate cause. Why is that? To call on me, alone, in daylight? Who are the starving Armenians this time? The Averys. Not this Avery. I had 2 chicken drumsticks for lunch. and peach cobbler.
I haven't had a morsel since yesterday.
Sit down. I'll tend to that.
I came for something else.
Sit anyhow and tell me. You read this yet?
No, ma'am.
Well, you better. It's had me stroking my knee all week. Anything will make me touch this body's bound to be good.
Your body's all right, Mrs. Avery.
For glue, I've been thinking I'm gonna walk while I can still see and have the steam down the road to the nearest glue factory.
Wait a while.
You asking for you or Neil?
Oh, you know, the general populace. Most of us.
Sit down. You ain't never liked me.
Yes, ma'am. I did. Once or twice when your rough edge showed.
Like now?
I didn't come here to fight.
It's all right if you did.
I wouldn't know how.
The hell you wouldn't. You took my one child and broke him. I'm sorry. I'm cursed with telling the truth. Neil's father used to say, problem with you, Rome, you're a truth monger.
Neil told me that.
It ain't nothing I'm proud of.
I've wondered.
Last thing people want, especially your kin.
Well, I want it now. How have I broken Neil?
You married him.
That was his idea much as it was mine.
More so, I'm sure. Men invented mistakes, but that didn't mean you had to compound it in smiles and all bushels of satin and veil. Neil was smothered by the time the last note sounded.
Mrs. Avery, marriage is how people live.
Some few do, yes. The saints of the earth. It fells most others in a few quick weeks, still grinning like dogs from the wedding reception.
Then what are people meant to do about love?
Love, it comes in more than one color and size. People want their knees and elsewhere stroked about every week or so. There ain't no shame in it. Just ask somebody and pull down the shades, or your neighbors and God. Keep fresh cakes handy, visit the sick, and send up thankful prayers once a day. I pray at dawn.
Don't mock me, please.
I'm not. I haven't gotten to you yet.
I need to get home.
You do, but I'll just take another minute of your time. Love. You and Neil. The smoky kind. 2 months of fire, your coals, and decades of smoke. You've either got to stay in there and learn how to breathe in the smoke, or leave. Get your hands red hot with scandal and hope to live it down.
Or leave here, together, me and Neil both, and go someplace. Leave you and Porter and this pitiful house and that dreadful job and watch the smoke clear all on its own.
You speak for Utah. You. Neil Avery lives here.
I believe you.
Then blow me down.
I believe Neil dreams he still lives here. But I'm asking you to help me wake him up.
And ask my one blood child to leave so I can sit here crouched up and die alone?
You're a strong young woman.
I'm strong enough to fight.
And besides, no one leaves anyone forever. Not their mother, at least.
Yes, ma'am, they do. Every damn day. Don't you know that's the founding faith of America? Leave your poor old mother in her cold sod hut while you strike out with some pretty thing for freedom. Ellis Island, Oklahoma.
I've asked Neil to leave here.
What's his answer?
None yet. He's got till tonight.
And to decide whether he'll leave or not.
And stop drinking liquor with Porter Farwell till he drops in ditches.
You packed?
Yes, ma'am.
For you and Neil.
Just me till tonight.
What happens tonight?
Neil tells me his plan.
Neil Avery cannot plan tying his shoes, and you know it.
He's learning now. He's got till dark.
Dark in what century? The 23rd?
No, tonight. Neil knows I won't wait.
You said you could. I heard you vow. I was in a fine lace dress. Cost me $35 and it's hot as Bombay. I ain't pulling that out ever again. You and Neil are stuck.
Not me. Not for long. If Neil doesn't honor the vows we took, he sets me free.
You believe in freedom on this side of the grave.
I have to, yes.
You think you've seen it? Show me a sample.
You'd sit there and mock it.
I'd weep for joy, Tall. I've waited long years.
Then I hope Neil and I can end your vigil.
How so?
By having a serious life together wherever we go. Love is freedom. Two people free to choose, but choosing each other day by day.
God help you, child.
He already has. He's guiding me now.
I don't see a halo.
I prayed all night.
Then there's nothing else I can do. Goodbye, Tall. Good luck.
You don't want to help?
I've done all I honestly can. I can't improve on your plans or God's. You need any cash?
No, ma'am. I'm kin to some open-handed people.
Your aunt in Raleigh?
Many more, many places.
I'd head on to them then.
I'm the youngest property owner I know. This whole house is mine. Mother gave it to me when my brother Dillard and his big family were jammed up in a one-story matchbox on the hot side of town. She'd hoped I'd sit here, quiet, renting rooms for the rest of my life and forget about Wayne Watkins and the dream of marriage. I don't understand. She and my father was as happy together as any two ducks on a deep warm pond. Many nights as a child I'd wake and hear them laughing in the dark down the hall. But when my father died, Mother, as young as she was, just started shrinking. Day by day, to the night she vanished, or so I recall it. She never warned me off of men or low-rated love till the evening she left us. That night, in the back bedroom, I took her supper and she said, "Sit still while I tell you what's true." I'd sat by her knees and she said, "Stop waiting by the door like a dog." I said, "I beg your pardon?" She said, "I'll pardon you when you can stand alone." I've been walking unaided since the age of 10 months. I bowed my knees slightly. I reminded her of that. I also reminded her how she leaned against Papa those 28 good years. She didn't give an inch, but turned her face to the wall. The picture she painted as a young girl of Buffalo said, "I can't pardon you tonight, can I?" I said, "No, ma'am. Gonna have to wait till breakfast in the morning." She died before day, leaving me all this, and I said, "My life?" So she hoped anyhow. She may yet prevail. It is a strong house. Heartwood beams and floors.
You busy?
On my world-famous trousseau, believe me, it can wait.
You were right.
Turned you down?
And tore me up.
By stating the facts, she's known for that. You heard what she did when Neil's father died.
No.
Child, it was all but radio news. They brought Mr. Avery's corpse to the house in a grand walnut coffin, and everyone gathered that night after supper to pay their respects. Neil was on hand and sober as a yardstick. Roma Avery was nowhere in sight. Everyone knew, of course, she and the corpse had barely said morning since the day Neil was born. But still, they hung on hope, hoping she'd pray and appear in Will's weeds and some kind of tears. At 9 p.m., Roma stalked in pumps, a teal blue dress, one strand of pearls, and a serious screwdriver.
I won't ask what for.
No one else did. Miss Roma always explains herself as straight as a rail. She walked right up to the coffin, unscrewed the little brass plaque on the side, and held it all out to us and read the only 2 words, "At rest." She said, "At rest? If any son of a bitch was ever frying in hell, it's Britt Butler Avery." That cleared the mortars in 4 seconds flat.
I didn't last many minutes longer there today.
You said your piece?
I told her I meant to take Neil away from here.
You never told me one word about that. Take him where? For what?
Anywhere they have jobs, to clear a slate and keep us married like you want us to be.
I wish you told me before you saw Roma. I'd save you the trip. She can no more visualize Neil going further than her voice can reach than you could see yourself as a virgin martyr in the jaws of lions.
I know that now.
Hush, you don't. She'd fight you every inch you take. Did Neil say he'd leave?
He hasn't said anything clear enough to hear.
Has he talked to his mother any time today?
She didn't let on.
He's talked to Porter, you can bet on that.
I hope not, but you're probably right.
Go beg Porter Falwell to ease your way. Porter Falwell can tame Neil Avery out of trees. I've seen him do it. Out of little trees in the pitch black winter night, and Neil buck naked on top branch, drunk, stealing mistletoe. Neil used to strip a lot.
Chin, I would gladly eat fire and die for Neil, but God on his throne can't force me to beg mine and my husband's life from Porter Farwell's hands.
Nothing's wrong with Porter.
That a gun couldn't fix,
Or a wife and 10 children.
which is roughly as likely as kittens from cows.
Tom, Porter was kind. Sure, his head may be a little lost in the mist, but he'd give you the last drop of water on earth.
And hold your husband in his other hand.
He's sworn to Neil.
In whose church?
Oh, just in life, from the cradle up, they've known each other barring 4 days, and Porter's 4 days older. No other's friends has meant much to either one.
Friendships need to die in childhood, along with the mumps and 5-year diaries.
I thought we were friends, that we helped each other with our glorious lives, but since we aren't, or so you claim, I'm free to say to you what I've thought about you all day. Tall, you are out of your mind. Tall, I live for a few friends and one shaky boy, Wayne Watkins, who won't even ask for my hand. You sound like Roma Avery, chaining people to you and gnawing at their bones.
You notice I'm alone, though.
Damned right, and maybe from here on out. People in general are in it for the pain, and if you want company, Neil's or mine's or Bobcat's, you've got to let up.
Starting how?
If I tell you, and I know, I'll be wasting good air.
Maybe not. I may be scared.
Good. It's about time. Listen, Roma turned you down, and she ain't never going to change course. She'll have Neil up to her house right now, laying down her law and cutting at you. You need to find Porter. Tell him truly what's happened and beg him to help you save your life, if you want this life.
If it's as hard as this, I'm not sure I want it.
It is, as any good eyes can see that by the age of 5. Now, I'll help you pack, or I'll stay here and pray. But really, I can't keep talking like this. It's ruining my whole outlook on life, and I don't want it ruined. I'm a loving soul with too much to face.
Jake said it was you, but I barely believed him. Come on inside.
I can't see Neil.
Neil's up at his mother's.
Let's just talk here, please.
You giving me the Gettysburg Address or Washington's farewell to the infant nation?
I'm asking you to help me and my husband.
Neil? That husband?
I'm too tired to joke. I'd hoped you'd be.
I seem to have gotten a second wind after lunch. It's a long night.
A second wind is all I'm asking for. Or first wind, truly. I don't think you ever gave us first wind.
It's never mine to give. I gave the groom away, remember? You took over there.
You had him most nights.
Wait less than half. Neil's old enough to vote.
Exactly. That is why I am here in this back alley eating crow by the handful. Take your hat out of the ring. Stop running for Neil.
My little office with Neil is for life. Private dog catcher may be a municipal joke.
There's no more future in you and Neil sleeping drunk by the road than in peace on earth.
Turning gypsy on us?
Sir?
You foreseeing things?
It doesn't take a gypsy or a telescope, just a set of eyes that have watched the world.
And you've watched long enough to see all friendships fade and die?
I'm an orphan, Porter.
Oh, that's a famous fact. You could do lecture tours. Little tall in the snow.
I pity you. The life you'll have,
You foresee that too?
right to the end. A dark, rented room, and an old man, lonesome as a rock in the sky.
Well, I guess I'd better start taking more exercise. I'll need extra strength just standing upright without a pair of helping hands. And you, of course, foresee strong arms under you.
If you let Neil loose,
You can't think I'm what's holding Neil.
who else is inside?
His mother, his mind, all it dreams to do.
Neil Avery's mind is promised to me. I've got the signed oath. Most people call it a marriage certificate.
Well, I signed it too. He's the best man, remember? The best man's the witness.
And then the best man leaves. That's his last duty.
Well, what am I meant to do? Where am I meant to go?
Tell Neil to leave here with his wife.
Using what for money? Neil works right here.
We're both strong as bears.
Not Neil.
Then me, Porter, me. I'm one strong soul. I can work for the both of us.
While Neil turns to putty.
In my hands. His legal mate. Porter, Neil is meant to be so much stronger than you guess. He can't just be some lovable smile. I know I've lain next to him enough. Neil is just waiting to find his own path and walk.
And you're his guide through the underbrush?
The one he chose.
He told me he has till tonight to choose.
He has. But now I am here asking you to help me. Do you want me on my hands and knees right here?
You didn't really hear my question, Tall. What am I meant to do?
Hunt you up your own grown damn life.
You have more or less ruined my afternoon. But leave. I will do the little I can.
He'll listen to you.
He never has yet. You never understood. Neil Avery knows what he wants and takes it. Neil Avery drunk is clearer than a Baptist preacher at dawn. You know, the night before he married you, Neil drove me out toward the river. We somehow got lost in the country we'd known every day of our lives. We left the car and struck out walking on the sandy road. It's funny. Neil said he could smell river water straight ahead. And I said, "You're crazy. We'd get lost deeper." Neil said, "Stay with me. This is my last exhibit." And I said, "What of?" He said, "Powers that I'm losing in the morning." Well, I walked on beside him, and in maybe half an hour, we were wading in river water, warm on our knees. As we were walking home, it was already today, I asked Neil, why were you losing your powers? He said, I thought I'd be a human for a while. And I said, and who have I known up until now? And Neil said, your guess is as good as mine, but it's grand fun.
I cost him his powers, and it is fun.
He never said that.
You just did.
I told you a story.
With a moral at the end.
Stop short of that.
Spell it out, Porter. You're the only one who knows.
Step back. Not from me, from Neil.
I'm on Mars now. Neil's so far off I can barely see him.
You're right at his throat.
That's where I'm supposed to be. Keep talking, please.
Well, you're the trained talker. I'll tell you this, Tall, Neil Avery needs help just drawing his next breath. He can't be by himself long enough to shave. He never heard those marriage vows, never thought they were laws. You told him to not, but he needs more time.
He's had a long year.
Not really. Believe me, he's had just a day since you struck him at dawn.
But you understood those vows the moment we spoke them.
I did. I'm sorry.
So what now?
For who?
Me and Neil? You? His mother?
Just let me speak for Neil. Tall, this is Neil's home. You pull him up, and he'll die. All his roots are here, all the light that shows that he is thriving and useful. Just give him some air, some ground room, and he may well grow.
He's not a plant, Porter. And I'm not a plant doctor. Prescribe for the humans.
Same prescription, air and room. Of course, Porter Farwell may wind up behind bars for practicing medicine without a state license.
We'd bail you out.
Start saving up now.
Thank you. You hear?
In a town this size, everybody's known your family since the 7 Years' War. So you have to spend most of your life in code. Little signs and fables for the kind and wise. That's been all right by me most times. It keeps you from having to make up your mind too soon or ever. For years, you could walk around some strong cyclone and have nobody question why or how. But then, when you least expect it, somebody you've known from the dark of the womb will step up and reach for the trunk of your life and shake it like a cyclone, and you shed your apples in full public view. It happened to me, my first year of high school. English class, of course. Miss Speed Brickhouse went round the room asking everybody what they planned to be. Everybody gave some sensible answer. Storekeeper, bank teller, practical nurse. And then she called on me. And Porter, what's your plan? I was already working at the Avery store, Neil and I on Saturdays. I figured I'd sell men's clothing for life. But what I said was what slept out. To Miss Speed's withered face and 16 children vicious as bats, I said, I hope to be a lighthouse for others. Miss Speed tried to save the day by saying the church was the noblest career, but everybody knew she was wrong, and they howled right on through to commencement 3 whole years later. I found the strength to hold my ground, though. I never explained. I knew I'd found and told the truth. A real light of safety in cold, high seas. But not for others, though. I was wrong in that. I lied. just for Neil Avery, the one I had long since determined was worthy of special need and special care. And I might as well fail.
Let me know when you're ready.
You're on one piece? No obvious abrasions. On the phone, you sound like Enema Time at the St. Louis Zoo.
With you in St. Louis.
In my dreams.
Then maybe you and Ta can go there soon.
What makes you say that?
Ta said you were leaving. Left me with that little news.
News to me?
Then your wife flat lied.
Mother, Ta's flaws do not include deceit. You simply misunderstood.
Then enlighten me, please.
Ta thinks this whole place is bad for me. Her and me.
Where would be good?
Some place we could spend more time together.
And what's stopping you from clamping your pink limbs together 16 hours a day?
That'd be my private affair. Thank you, Mama.
You leaving concerns me deeply. You're my right hand in business, and you're my one blood child.
Porter runs the store. I'm just the handshaker, the boy with the grin. And I don't think I ever volunteered to be your child.
Of course you did. In heaven, little unborn babies are shown snapshots of lonely women. They get plenty of time to study each face, and then they decide who they want.
And they're stuck with the choice? Mother for life?
Life and beyond. Does marriage offer that?
Jesus said nobody gets married in heaven.
Which is why it's heaven. But Jesus didn't say people forget their mothers.
Didn't say teachers get a half price either.
Leave tonight. I'll support you 90 days.
Whoa!
Asheville, Chattanooga, hell, Salt Lake City.
And you be behind us? To balance the books?
I'll sit here and eat thin slices of my own strong heart till no one's left still standing but me.
After that?
I'll join you in eternity, Angel.
How about I make you a serious proposition? I shoot myself late tonight by the river. You bury me in my pinstripe suit, and then, with no harsh words, you give Ta $10,000 cash. She'll go her way, your path will be clear, Ta can start fresh.
Would you sign a paper? No further claim on me?
Take me seriously for once.
I do. I accept your proposition.
Want to hold the gun? You can hold it maybe. I can fire with my toes.
I'd have a long wait. You would never do it. You love the world.
What makes you say that? Say that.
Loved it far more I or your father. I've known it almost since you were born. Everybody who met you loved you. I was jealous at first. So few loved me. Till I could see why. It was no virtue of yours. You just loved the world. You begrudged it nothing.
I can thank you, Mother, but say you're wrong. I'm just a regular no-count boy that doesn't want to be a man, but wants a man's pay, and a good cook to curl up with to that night.
Ta said there wasn't much curling up.
Since I love this whole world, I can't be partial to any one creature.
Don't leave here, Neil.
They're busy at the store. I better get back.
You know what I mean.
No, I don't. But I know you'll tell me right now, slowly, in English.
You leave, and I'll die.
I believe you.
And you still mean to leave.
I never said that.
But you will. By dark.
You're the prophetess, Mother. I'm just the boy that loves the here and now.
Then I'm as here and now as anything else. Till the day he died, my father was the thing I thought loved me. He was young, 19 the year I was born, and he seldom spoke 10 words a day. So he never told me, never said the word, not love, not in my hearing at least. And that was fine by me. All this talk of mine, my famous fountain of truth, came after he died. Till I was 4, I said not a word, and almost never cried, and by then Mother had told the world I was mute. Father didn't seem to worry a bit. He just rode me everywhere he went, on his broad English saddle, far out in the country. He had managed timber for his great-grandfather who'd known James Madison when he was a boy. The winter I was 4, we were out by the river, in a noon so bright my eyes stayed shut. Father spoke for the first time in hours. He said, "Rome, speak now, this precious instant or nevermore." So my eyes clicked open. I said plainly, "Let's just keep going on from here." I meant not home, anywhere but home, though Mother was a saint beyond doubt. Father said not a word but spurred us on. I think he obeyed me. I honestly do, till mid-afternoon. At least we had seen trees we'd never passed before, both of us silent as stones. Then came a moment where I felt him turn back. I knew because I was happy till then. But when that horse turned home at a jog, I broke like a stick. For good, for life. Just 2 nights later, Father died across town at a girl's back door, shot once in the midst of his heart by her brother, in dark, thick as fur. The next day, I commenced normal speech. No tears with no one I much cared to address, not then or since. In the past 20 years, I've enjoyed Neil, of course. Father shows in his eyes sometimes, in the dusk.
You seem to be alive.
Barely, I guess.
Did you call him your mother?
Jesus with morphine couldn't call mother. Tall paid her a visit.
Tall's had a full day. She honored me.
When?
Just now in the alley. She wouldn't come in.
What did she want?
Perfect peace, perfect light.
Porter, tell the truth.
I swear to God, just change the wording. She wants me to beg you to do her will.
And you said you would?
I believe so, yes.
Get to it. Beg.
Keep your word to talk.
Recite me the vows.
Sir?
The marriage vows. You were there beside me, weren't you?
Till death do us part.
And what about Mexico? High snow in August?
Take her there, sure. She's earned the view.
It was our idea. Yours and mine. On and off again for years. You backing out now?
It was no idea, Neil. Just our latest hangover. I sell breeches, Neil. Gloves and socks. I will till I die. You and I have the future of a keg of drowned cats.
You said friendship outlasted women and rocks.
I doubt that now.
Since Tall's little visit,
Since the day you saw her by the horseshoe pit.
I won the match, Porter. Tall didn't stop me. No woman ever has. I can look and still throw.
You weren't just looking that day. I saw you.
I was also eating 6 brown sugar pies and winning a sack race. You see that too?
And drinking 2 full jars of raw apple brandy. Tall Sefton changed you, Neil, for good, at first sight.
I thought she looked good. I could tell she was smart.
You thought she was God with an angel squad.
Get serious.
I mean, previous times I've watched you skate fast figures around 24 girls and plow home at daybreak, barely even phased. But Tall, she struck you like a pig iron truck. As I was driving you home, you were still burning high.
She did look fine, and she talked plain to me with no mean edge. Didn't think I was any big savior.
She chose you, Neil. I watched her do it.
She gave me 2 minutes. She was with Tim Page.
That's all she needed. She knew right away. Tim Page might as well have been into Cuba.
We did move fast, but now we're stuck. Hell, splat against the windshield.
Well, crank it, boy. It's your vehicle, and you're at the wheel. Just slower this time.
Hop back in.
Sir?
You. I need you.
For how long?
Couple days? 10 years?
With Tall in the middle?
She'd go her own way.
Your mother would too. Straight to the law. We'd come back in irons, in Bezler's jail.
Tell me this. You don't want to be anywhere else but here?
No, I don't. Neil, you and God both know that I would go with you on Asia, through Yakback, through hell, if there was any chance of us being glad.
We'd be taking a trip. The sky wouldn't fall.
On me it would. Dumb old me. See, everything I know lives here. I might not know how to breathe elsewhere.
Keep your trust in me. I'll teach you to breathe and far more, friend. All grades of wonder. We be free, Lord Jesus.
No. I'm Porter Farwell. Always will be.
You could be Porter Free.
I am free. Right now. Of all but you.
Wasn't that by choice?
It was. Made by me.
Then I can't help you there, can I?
Yes. Go to Tall. By dark. Quickly now.
I'm not Neil Avery, but I can cook beans. These are Navy beans. They can stay in Spain.
I may not need to go farther than Raleigh, but thank you, Jen.
I see you expecting a guest anyhow.
Is my husband a guest? Well, anyhow, I'm setting the table on faith, and I've made enough for the Elks Lodge banquet.
Call me if you need another mouth to help eat. I'll be upstairs praying.
For what?
You and Neil, me and Wayne, all lonely souls.
Wayne's not coming by tonight?
It's the day he cuts his daddy's hair. That could take several days.
The old fella's bald.
No, that's his stepdad. His real daddy is shaggy as a coach Shetland pony.
Sit down.
I'll be in the way.
I'm not too sure there is a way.
Play like there is. That's my big philosophy. It got me this far.
I'm a terrible truster. When your parents die on you,
Don't tell me. I'm scared enough.
you'll be all right. We both will.
People die every day. Flat howling lonesome.
There are worse things than living a lone life.
Name one.
Watching children starve.
Or letting go of a child as good as Neil. I see those bags.
I'm packed and ready to leave if Neil says leave, with him or alone. I've made supper on faith. Both you and Porter said let go.
You saw Porter? I bet he was kind.
He said let go, same as you.
I said to start liking Neil's nature, the one God gave him.
Porter said I might just hold him if I surrendered. I never thought I had any guns.
You're armed, all right.
I guess I could blind my eyes to some of his ways. But what I suspect is that it's the side of me that hurts him. In this room, when he comes to rest.
Wayne thinks I'm a damn federal marshal with bloodhounds, handcuffs, and convict stripes. But I'll wait him out. One day he'll wake up and see that I'm the person that loves his eyes and how he walks, and will be true to him in any dark corner.
You have killed your pride, Jen. Not me. Mine's so strong I can barely bend down.
Pride's a sin in all churches, Tom. Of course, I never had much. I wait a lot. It ruins my posture. I slouch through fights.
Not I. I'm covered in mine and Neil's scars.
Yours don't show.
I know where they are. I can't forget them.
Forget. Now. Catch a case of amnesia, enter life as fresh as a rose this instant.
A rose with a blight.
The world loves a rose.
You lost a key? It was open anyhow.
I thought I played the gin for once.
I'll remember you that way. Many thanks.
You're certain now?
It's where we can talk till the rent expires. The landlady's here.
And outward bound.
Sit down. Stand still. I have a message for you. It's nothing but a wire.
A wire? Who's dead?
It's from Wayne.
Wayne?
You developed a problem with your eardrums, Jin? I said from Wayne! Your aging beau. When I was passing Western Union just now, they asked me to drop it off. Tip me 10 cents. Here.
You owe me a whole world's worth more than a thin silver dime. Where's Wayne and what does he say?
You think I took the liberty of reading a private dispatch?
Why is it public property? Where's Wayne? Is he under arrest?
Wheeling, West Virginia, 1:30 p.m. Out here selling with Dad and Dave. If I get home safe, will you marry me? Yours cordially, Wayne.
Cordially? They're bound to be drunk.
Who is Dave?
Mr. Watkins' dog, the one that can sing.
I hope he can drive. Those mountain roads are instant death.
Of course they are. What else would fate hold for Genevieve Slappy?
Shall we join you in prayer?
No. Neil, is one single word of this true? You somehow made this all up. Told do you believe this fool?
Forging a wire is a federal offense.
That's never stopped Neil.
Jen, trust your best friend. Go wait upstairs. You'll get your surprise.
And it's not bad news.
Not for you, no. Have I ever lied to you?
Just 10 times a day since we met in first grade.
Well, I'm not lying now. Go in peace. Live to thank me.
Told those beans should be warm by now.
Thank you. Keep me posted. I'll do the same.
Call the law if I scream.
Absolutely.
Not you, fool. Call the true law if I yell murder.
Cross my heart. Neil, leave it unlocked.
You expecting somebody?
I guess not. No. You didn't lie to her?
I forged the wire, but she'll be happy. I saw Wayne buy a diamond the size of a gnat for lovely Genevieve. May I rest my feet?
Help yourself. Sit down. Are you eating here, Neil?
Mm-hmm.
Will I ever know?
If I ever get back.
Where are you?
In what feels like what just may be a dream. Moving and moving.
Move gently, Neil. Come on. Move.
I'm flying, girl.
In what? Your own private plane?
More like, sure, my private arms.
Can I guide you in? Are you strong enough to make it? You must be hungry.
I'm 10 years old. The other kids hate me. And I start to run. We're on the ledge of a tall hill, steep sides. They're about to catch me. They grab my shirt tail. Then I take the last step off the ledge and fall through space towards a sharp rock valley. The other kids yell, "We're sorry, come back." I wish I could. I always loved them. But I'm bound to die. Then I spread my arms out as the wind rushed by, and God, I raised 50 yards in a sweep before I level out and glide. I'm scared cold stiff, but I flap my arms, and I understood. I learned to fly. Sun breaks out. It's been misty all morning, and just as natural as sleep, I'm climbing and banking and looping the loop while all the other cruel children line up on the ledge, mouths agape and begging me to land and teach them how. I just fly on.
I thought people loved you.
They do. Till they get to know me. Then they beg me for wings.
Were you really asleep?
Maybe. I wonder. I feel like I've had that dream so many times through the years. How long was I out?
Less than 3 minutes. Maybe you were snoozing. The trip make you hungry?
I think maybe so, yes.
Well, it's here then. Abundant.
How much?
I've made food for hundreds.
How much if I sit down and eat? How much do I owe you?
You own it already, Neil. You well know that.
Then you change your deal?
Sir?
Your deal this morning. I would leave my old life and leave here with you.
I meant I wanted to love you, Neil. While you were here and present, after sundown at least.
That simple? That's it?
Just enough to see and reach you.
I can see you plainly from here.
Take 2 steps closer.
See how much I've changed?
I'd never have known you.
Notice the clear eyes and the strong jaw.
A whole new man.
There's a great deal that hide under these fine clothes.
And all of it's changed?
That's your gamble, the risk you take.
You too. 3/4 of me is submerged.
That's like the Titanic, the hidden ice.
I doubt this is ice.
Warm from here. So you win then? For today?
I figure I've lost a lot more than you. For good, I suspect.
Don't look too far. I may be gone.
The whole world might, Neil. Be ashes by midnight. You and me with it.
Fine by me?
Not me.
You're young.
I'm old as the moon. That tired, at least.
How tired is the moon?
Wait, my darling, it's glorious. And look, God, it fits. The answer is yes. Any day and forever.
Should we call the law?
She never meant that. I'm all but sure.
So you take responsibility then?
I do. could have our director, Lathan Bowling, down here for one quick moment. One quick moment.
I think it's coming that way.
Come here. Run like the wind, but don't fall.
Lathan, you know we love you.
And I'd just like to say, on behalf of Porter Farwell and everybody else in this show, that we love you and we appreciate all that you've done for us. So, as a token of our appreciation, we give you this.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, yes. This is our cast photo from last night. Opening night, yeah.
It was opening night.
And we all signed it.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.